Yes. I mean, we experience loss every day. We experience loss of moments, loss of, youth, loss of relationships, loss of, I mean, it's the scale of the loss that varies, right? But we experience it all the time. When we say that life is always changing, what we're saying is that we're always experiencing loss. But if we're always experiencing loss, it also means we're always gaining something new. It's just about being open to gaining whatever that is and choosing what you want to gain and what you want to leave. Yeah. I think it's why when we talk about grief, it's why it's so multidimensional, you know? When we talk about grief, I think the most common thing we think of when we think about grief is like death, right? But it really is just loss of love if you want to boil it down to something more like specific. With loss, grief is experiencing loss of love, right? So that's why you can use the word, like we talk about death and when we think of grief, we think of death, but it's why you can also use the word grief when you're experiencing heartbreak, right? Because it's kind of the same thing. You are losing a love that you probably, or at least in that moment, perceivably aren't going to have again. And in some ways, that is like death, It's death of a relationship. It's death of love, of that specific kind of love, that specific form that it has taken in your life. But it's true, like we think about heartbreak and it's grief. And that's why it hurts so much, because it's loss.